a rainy day. It's a day off, although it's a weekday. It's a day off for me. I worked all weekend, so I come down on the plot. There's no one else here. The golf driving range is shut on a Monday, so I've got the place to myself, which is lovely. Some heavy rain forecast for later, but while it isn't raining, I'm going to do some picking. So welcome to another week on my allotment. And these blackberries are at the end of my new bit of ground, so they are not mine really. I've inherited them, and I have told others to please come and help yourself, but as far as I'm aware no one has yet, so I just keep picking. And they're lovely large blackberries, and they go into, in fact last night we had a apple and blackberry crumble made with the apples from my garden and the blackberries from here. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to do a bit of picking. I love it. Well, I haven't been up here for a couple of days, but there's no doubt Bridget has been picking her tomatoes, and I know she's picked, she brings plastic crates up, and I know she's been taking away crate after crate, and yet still there are, I mean, just look at that. What do you do with so many? I did ask her actually, and I said I'd come back to you. I said, what do you do with all these tomatoes? And she said she roasts them in the oven until they're sort of dry, and then she whizzes them up in a blender and freezes the sort of smoothie mixture. And I guess, you know, you can use that in all sorts of different cooking and so on. So she has a plan, as you'd expect with Bridget. And my goodness, it's all, I mean, I've got this bit of ground for me, and it sort of almost inspires me to try and do the same. Not on the same scale, we just couldn't handle this many tomatoes. But we do love tomato soup made from, you know, proper allotment grown tomatoes, not the stuff you buy in the shop which is full of sugar and salt. And, you know, with this amount of tomatoes you can make a lot of soup. So I'm going to have to think about this for next year. Well, that's the blackberries picked. So now some raspberries for a smoothie tomorrow morning. Okay, so I've done a little bit of picking, and you see there's the blackberries, sort of 1/2 to 3/4 of a punnet, and the raspberries and blueberries combined. I'm really pleased with that. And the blackberries will go to make more apple and blackberry crumble, and the raspberries and the blueberries we put into a smoothie each morning. And that brings me nicely to a point I'd like to make. Anybody out there who's starting to create their own allotment or vegetable garden, or has been doing it a couple of years, and I know I can include in this my cousin Deborah and her husband Mick, who have just retired, and they've got themselves an allotment, so it's really exciting for them. What I would say is, this is my 3rd summer, and it's taken me 3 years to get to where you can honestly say that you're getting a proper crop of each product. And by that I mean, the previous 2 years we bought these blueberry plants, there's 4 of them in the raised bed, and for the previous 2 years, they're now 3 years old, and the other 2 years we had a few of them. And it was nice. We bought punnets of blueberries because my wife loves them, and we would add ours to the punnet and put them on our breakfasts, and it was nice just to have a few of our own. This year, the 3rd year, those 4 plants, which were specifically picked to, they're an early, middle and late croppers, so for now, for at least 2 months, maybe more, Cheryl hasn't bought any blueberries. We have enough to put on our breakfast cereals and in our smoothies, such that we don't we don't need to buy them, and we have sufficient for our needs. And it's the same with an awful lot of products. The raspberries, the previous 2 years exactly the same, just a few, and it was nice. But this year we haven't bought raspberries for months, and they are really cropping well. So to Deborah and Mick and all those out there that are just starting down this path, it's the long game. You've got to think 1, 2, 3 years ahead to get where you want to be. Decide what it is you want to eat, and then grow that, and slowly over a couple of years the crops will start to come together to the point where you're self-sufficient really in a lot of the crops. And for us it's a two thing. First of all, the fruit, it's seasonal. It lasts a month, maybe two. The strawberries, the raspberries, the apples, and they're lovely while you've got them, but then they're gone. Now we just accept that. I've said to Cheryl, don't buy any more strawberries, because even the best ones you buy are completely tasteless. And then the other things, the onions, the potatoes, grow the things that you can eat and then store. Leeks are another very good one. Leeks you can store in the ground. So good luck to Deborah and Mick, and for all those out there that are just down this path, a little bit of patience and the crops will come, and you'll never regret getting an allotment, not for a moment. That's John just arriving, obviously coming to put some fertiliser on his leeks. So yeah, really pleased, more to pick. There goes John, he's just arrived, and every morning when he gets here with his dog Merlin, he walks up the field, and as he walks up the field, if he finds any golf balls, he throws them back onto the driving range lawn or grass. The chap who owns the driving range loves him. Right, I just said my phone went off while I was talking, and I've had a look at it. I don't like mobile phones. I don't really know why I brought it up today. Cheryl's at work, I'm up here, my son's at home, so I thought, oh, I'll bring it. And the van's been playing up a bit, so just as a safety net. Anyway, I've got a really old, cheapy little thing. It doesn't do anything other than make phone calls and get texts. So I've got a text here. Excuse me wearing my battered old glasses. Now, I don't use this. I never do anything with it. Hi Lynn, I'm Martin. You're needed to be a mystery shopper at Lidl in exchange for a £100 voucher. Apply at www. Blah, 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 blah. What's that about? Anyone know? I mean, I'm assuming it's a scam. How do they get my number? And how do they make money out? I'm confused.com. Anyway, options. Delete. Gone. Lynn will have to go and be a mystery shopper somewhere else. Why don't people spend their time and initiative doing positive things? Why do they have to... money, I suppose. Weird. Serves me right from bringing the damn thing. Anyway, back to the allotment. I think I might have mentioned this before, I'm not sure. But these two, I've just picked these two courgettes. They're off the same plant. Courgette zucchini. How are they producing two different coloured courgettes? Odd. Well, I quite like it. I think I definitely would grow zucchini again. Well, you may remember I had a complete washout with the broad beans, so I replanted them, or some more. And okay, they're not the biggest, they're not going to win any awards, but there are some there. Need to wash that. Beware middle-aged man with machete. Just looking at the thermometer that's still in the compost heap, and it's still up about the 62 mark. So that compost is cooking. Homemade coleslaw, here we come. Well, as the rain gets steadily heavier, and it was predicted and it's going to get worse, I've done enough picking, and that will go home with me. Very happy with that. Although we're having tomato and pasta with spinach tonight because of the amount of tomatoes we've got. This will wait for a day and be a nice salad, and the beans and runner beans and French beans will be prepared and put in the freezer for the winter. But to the shed and a cup of tea. Well, it's not the coldest day, but it's down around the 10-11 centigrade mark, and because of the wind and the rain it's a bit chilly, and I'm just looking for an excuse to fire up the Frontier stove, and I've got no firelighters, which is not the best planning in the world. No, definitely no firelighters, which is what I normally do at home. Cheating, I know, but for the purist, but I'm not a purist. So I'm just going to prepare it a little bit, and we'll see what happens. If it goes out, it goes out. I'm not too fussed. We shall see. Oh, that's warm already. That's only one piece of newspaper. I don't read newspapers, I find them depressing, but I do have some customers who do. So I've asked them to keep them, and I'm recycling them. Well, that's not good. I don't want the smoke in here. That's what you want to see, isn't it? Something in our inner being must go back to the caveman. Seeing a fire glow in your cave, in your allotment man cave, that is. I may have to wait longer than normal for my cup of tea. Well, it really is raining now. The guttering is drip feeding the water barrels, and the fire's working and the smoke is leaving the chimney. I'm a happy man. Even when I'm not allotmenting, I'm on the allotment. Well, viewer, I want you to know you were here along with me for the official first boiling of a kettle from the Frontier stove in my shed. I'm going to have the happiest cup of tea I've ever had on my allotment. Well, I'm going to sit here and enjoy the fire for the rest of the morning. And I'm meeting Cheryl for lunch once she finishes work. So I've got a couple of magazines, I've got my allotment book, I've got a hot cup of tea from the fire. I couldn't be happier. And the vegetables are getting watered while I sit here and do nothing. So thank you for watching. Thanks if you're a subscriber, I really appreciate it. And I shall see you again, hopefully in some drier weather next week. Bye for now. Your good health. Cheers.